Final order cutoff is this Monday. So let's take a look at the books that you need to be pre-ordering. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. And this is a brand new show that we're calling FOC. Now, if you're not sure what FOC is, it means Final Order Cutoff. And, for whatever reason in comics, everything is based on pre-orders. And so about a month to 3 months ahead of time, you got to order the comic books you want, or else you might go to the comic shop and they don't have enough copies for you, or the prices are jacked up because a book became more rare overnight. So this is a new series where I'm going to show you the books coming up on Final Order Cutoff every single weekend so that you can call your shop, pre-order it by Monday morning, and a month, 2 months, 3 months later, that book is safe and sound in your hands. And if you're ordering it online, hey, no worries. It's right in your mailbox. And so it's a great way to make sure you don't miss out on the books that you really want, whether they're single issues or graphic novels and things like that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kind of share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm talking about. So with comics, like I said, everything is on Final Order Cutoff, and they're with several different distributors. So right now we're looking at previewsworld.com, which is basically the website where retailers can order from Diamond Comics distributors. But there's also Lunar Distribution for DC, Scout Comics, and some other indies, as well as Penguin Random House for mostly Marvel, as well as IDW and some other indies as well. So each different publisher has their own list of books showing up on Final Order Cutoff. And Final Order Cutoff is typically on Monday. So for this week, that is Monday, January 30th. But Lunar has their FOCs listed as Sunday. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want to make sure you call your shops and order these pretty much ASAP. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few books that I've picked out that I think are just dope that you should get on. And then we'll kind of scroll through to see if we can find some honorable mentions, some things that just look interesting. So out of all of the books coming up on Final Orders due this weekend, first one I wanted to show off is this one. It's Hallows Eve, issue number 1, written by Erica Schultz, art by Michael Dowling, and that's Michael Dowling on this cover. Now, Hallows Eve is a new character that got introduced in the pages of Dark Web. Basically, Madeline Pryor just radicalized Ben Reilly's girlfriend, and now she's a villain all her own. Now, the way I feel, I didn't need Dark Web. I certainly don't need a spin-off featuring a side character gone bad. But if you are into first appearances and, first titles and stuff like that, you're a speculator, this might be a book to grab. And who knows, maybe the story will be worth it. Janine Godby's world's been blown up several times. This time she's got a bag of superpowered masks and a chip on her shoulder. Yeah, I can't even lie. This doesn't seem appealing to me. But hey, moving on. That's from Marvel Comics. Moving on to the next Marvel comic on FOC this weekend is Cosmic Ghost Rider, issue number 1. This one's written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Juan Cabal. Juan Cabal, you might remember, started off the Black Panther run with John Ridley. Pretty good art. There's some other stuff that he's done art for recently, and of course I can't think of any of it. X-Men Red, he's been on X-Men Red. That's what it is. No, it's not. Never mind. I thought it was Fantastic Four. Yeah, I don't know Juan Cabal. I haven't seen a ton of his artwork, but anyway, Cosmic Ghost Rider, of course, created by Donny Cates in the Thanos run, if I'm not mistaken. Frank Castle has eked out a quiet existence, but his days as Cosmic Ghost Rider are finally behind him. His peaceful existence is shattered. He's got to suit up once more and face himself. Interesting. Honestly, Cosmic Ghost Rider is just a cool looking character, and this one's got some really cool covers. I think my favorite cover on this one, this is Ryan Stegman. Yeah, I think that's my favorite cover. So that's on FOC this weekend. Order it by Monday at your local comic shop, or risk missing out. So those are the couple of Marvel comics that I wanted to highlight. Not a ton on Marvel FOC, if I'm being honest with you. Just scrolling through, at least not a lot of series debuts. I like to show you new series coming out on FOC. There is this Spider-Man Unforgiven book, and if I'm honest, I'm not crazy excited about it. It's like Spider-Man fighting against vampires and whatnot. It just doesn't look that appealing to me. Anyway, let's move on to DC, where, of course, Superman, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Jamal Campbell, is up for FOC this weekend. And I've been dying to see Jamal Campbell on a Superman title, or really just any mainline DC superhero, ever since he did like a little cameo appearance of Superman in the Naomi comic. Jamal Campbell's just dope. And Joshua Williamson's a great writer as well. He did Dark Crisis. He did a bunch of other stuff before that, most notably to me, the Robin run featuring Damian Wayne. So competent writer, great artist. I feel like competent isn't as good a compliment as it should be. Great writer, great artist on a brand new #1 for Superman. I just love how bright and shining this cover looks, and I hope the interior is just as bright and shiny and hopeful in Metropolis. So cover price on this one's $4.99. Go ahead and order it this weekend. It'll be in shops on February 21st. And let's see. So we got Marvel, we got a DC book. Here's an indie book that I wouldn't have even known existed if I hadn't been going through these previews. But this is Moriarty, Clockwork Empire #1, written by Frederick Duvall, art by Steven Subic. Neither of these are names that I'm familiar with, but Solicit just is intriguing to me. It says, in a London opium den, a monster is killed by the police with 7 bullets to the body. At the Diogenes Club, an investigator and his partner thwart the Machiavellian plans of a card-playing automation, and that evening the monster's alter ego would come out of the hospital unscathed, and Holmes and Watson are on the case. Honestly, Holmes and Watson is all I needed to see. I'm down for a Sherlock Holmes adventure. This one is also in stores the week of February 22nd with a retail price of $4.99 from Titan Comics. So again, this is one of those sort of obscure indie titles. So if you want this, you definitely need to call your shop and order it, as chances are they're not going to have like 10 copies sitting around. Go ahead and order it from your shop. I know I'm about to. Let's see. Another indie title, and I wouldn't even highlight this except that Darkwing Duck was just really, really good this week. Darkwing Duck #1 came out this Wednesday. #2 is on FOC this week. It'll be in shops on February 22nd. The reason I'm highlighting this on Final Order Cutoff is because there are like a million variants for issue #2. So let me just click the show variants button. And here we go. So we're still looking. All right, issue 2 variant. This is the Mirka Andolfo cover. We got a cover by, I don't know who Lyrics is, but there are just, look at all these covers. All these are for issue #2. This one is probably the one that I'm most excited about. This FOC cover looks like it's homaging. Is that David Mazzucchelli again? Yeah, from Batman Year One. But also, I really like. There's a few of them that I like. I love this cover. This one's by George Cambadai. I hope I'm saying that right. He's actually the guy who's doing interiors on the Gargoyles series for Dynamite right now. I showed you Mirka Andolfo, and also Kat Staggs, who's Amanda Dybert's wife. This cover to me is better than her cover for issue 1. So pretty dope stuff. But anyway, a whole lot of Darkwing on FOC. Chances are your shop is not going to order every cover like they did with issue 1. So if there's a particular cover you want, you need to pre-order it. The diamond codes are here on the page. But yeah, that'll be in stores February 22nd. And let's move right along to a couple graphic novels. So this one, We Live Volume 1, the hardcover, collecting We Live issues 1 through 5, plus the free comic book day We Live issue. We Live, I got issue 1. Did I get issue 1 or did I get a trade paperback? Either way, I think I got just issue 1 a while back in a mainstream mystery box, and I tried to read it. And with We Live, the art was beautiful, but they made a big fuss about there being like a soundtrack that you're supposed to listen to, or you should. It's suggested that you listen to along with it. That's supposed to like add to the story. And that's when I realized I suck at reading comics while listening to anything. And so trying to listen to the recommended soundtrack actually took me out of the story, but I'm excited to revisit. $24.99 is not a bad price for a hardcover, but it is only 5 issues. And I would imagine it's a standard size hardcover, not like some big oversized collection. So do with that information what you will, but final order cutoff on that is this Monday. So check it out. And then we got just 2 more collections I wanted to show off. So next one is Tailspin, Flight of the Skyraker and Other Stories. Now, it's a weird way for them to bill it, but this is actually volume 2 of the Disney Afternoon Adventures from Fantagraphics. So if you are like me and you grabbed this Darkwing Duck hardcover last year, this goes right along. This is the volume 1 that the Tailspin is volume 2 of. So chances are they won't even put volume 1 or 2 on the book. Looking at this one, this doesn't say volume 1. And so I don't believe the Tailspin book will say volume 2. But this is a great companion. You're going to get, this isn't just a Darkwing Duck book. This has like one Darkwing Duck story. It's got a Gummy Bear story, Rescue Rangers, Goof Troop, Bonkers, like all the Disney Afternoon has little comics in this. And this is reprints basically of the Disney Adventures magazine that used to come out back in the day. I mean, this volume 1's got the Goofy movie comic adaptation. Like, I'm looking at Powerline right now. So anyway, the stories included in volume 2. We've got Tailspin, Darkwing, DuckTales, Chip and Dale. We got Flight of the Skyraker, which is a Tailspin story. Dime After Dime, which looks like a DuckTales story. For the Love of Cheese, featuring Chip and Dale. Jacques Debris, that's great. Darkwing Duck, the Gummy Bears, and more. So there's a whole lot of interesting Disney stories that'll be in here. This on final order cut off this Monday, and the retail price on this book is only $29.99. So my shop gives me a 10% discount for having a pull list with them. Chances are your shop will do something similar. But if you're a Disney Afternoon fan, like I'm a Disney Afternoon fan, you got to grab this book. Another book that I think is pretty interesting coming out on FOC this weekend. This one's not in stores until March 7th, but this is Genius Illustrated, The Life and Art of Alex Toth. Now, apparently this is the second book in the series. It doesn't say volume 2 on the cover, but this is going to be reprinting. Like, it's a biography, but it also completes or features artwork and stories from Alex Toth's work at DC Comics, Marvel, some creator-owned stuff. Alex Toth, if you're not familiar, he's like a really renowned artist. One of my favorite artists is John Paul Leon, who, passed away last year. And one of the artists that inspired him the most is Alex Toth. And that's what got me interested in Alex Toth. He did a bunch of stuff, like I said, with Hanna-Barbera. I think he's probably most known for doing stuff for like Space Ghost, but he's got all sorts of stuff. But anyway, this is sort of like a graphic biography, selected memoirs. I don't know what we want to call this, but it's on FOC this weekend, January 30th. So call your shop to pre-order it, because this is, again, one of those books that is like a niche book. So chances are your shop's not going to have like a ton of copies of this rolling around. So go ahead and pre-order it. It'll be in your box with your name on it, and you'll most likely get a discount just for pre-ordering. So check that out. Now, we got one last graphic novel recommendation on FOC this weekend. This from DC Comics and Milestone Media is Duo. So Duo is like a reworking of Zombie, if you are like an original Milestone fan. But Kelly and her fiance David are lab partners. In a lab accident, Kelly dies, or does she really die? Turns out their bodies kind of get merged into one, and they are sharing David's body. And it's a very interesting story about like just living with your spouse, and not just living with them, but like living in each other's heads, like your spouse being able to see all your thoughts, you being able to see all your spouse's thoughts. And when you are controlling just one body, what happens when you disagree? Who wins? How do you decide? How do you resolve these conflicts? So a really interesting series. I really loved reading this in single issues. I think it'll read even better as a trade. But it's written by Greg Pak with art by Koi Pham, and it's awesome. It's really good. Um, I won't spoil. I was going to say something, but I'm not. But anyway, final order cutoff for it is this weekend. With this being a graphic novel, this is not going to be in stores until April 25th, but you want to go ahead and get your orders in if you know you want a copy of this. So you don't have to read any of the other Milestone books to read this, by the way. It's just some good old-fashioned one and done storytelling. So those are all the recommendations that I picked out. But we can kind of scroll through just a little bit if you see something that's interesting to you. Like I said, I try to pick out issue number ones and brand new starts to titles and series for this. But Spawn Unwanted Violence is getting a second printing for issue 1 if you missed out, to go along with the issue 2. I believe that went on. Yeah, that's on final order cutoff this weekend too. So you can get issue 1 and 2 same day. Nice. From Boom Studios, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 2, or volume 2 issue 3 is out. This Kevin Eastman cover, it's dope. It's dope. Like, I'd get that. If you're going for the helmet variants, like, those are important too. Grab those. From Dark Horse, what they got? What do they have? Nothing that I'm too excited about, but that's because I'm not a big Witcher fan. Yeah, I don't read a ton of Dark Horse. So nothing that I'm crazy excited about there. IDW, just a whole bunch of Ninja Turtles. Last Ronin Lost Years issue 2 is out next on final order cutoff, and they're the ones doing that Genius Illustrated Alex Toth book. Then Marvel, we already looked at, but you can see some graphic novels there from Marvel, different omnibus editions. The Joe Fixit #1 second printing, Miles Morales #2 second printing. There's a new Rogue and Gambit title. It doesn't sound interesting to me. That's why I didn't spotlight it, but that's there. All in all, some pretty cool covers. So if you're a cover person, like, it's worth it to take a look at the previews and order the one you want specifically. And then Dynamite, I already showed you all the Darkwing madness. There's also Gargoyles on final order cutoff this weekend. So if you want to make sure you get the Gargoyles cover you want, I'm partial to the Jay Lee. Then make sure you do that. And other than that, not a ton else, but there's plenty for you to choose from, plenty for you to chew on in this week's round of final order cutoff picks. So hopefully I gave you a lot to work with, and hopefully this series works out. I don't know if you want me rambling about books coming out for 20 minutes, but if you do find this helpful, let me know in the comments down below. Now, I do have a weekly newsletter that I put out every Thursday or Friday called This Week in Comics. And as a part of that, I give you my top 3 FOC picks. So if you want to skip this video and just get the recommendations in your inbox, click down below, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video soon. Till then, make sure you read something dope today. Peace.